So are you thinking about buying a new construction home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? Well, don't do anything until you watch this video. I am going to tell you some of the pros and the cons, some of the pitfalls, some of the gotchas, and if you stick around till the end, I'm going to share some of my best known secrets when buying new construction in the Fort Worth area. And we are going to get after it right now. Hi, I am Elizabeth Oliva, and this is the Fort Worth Home Tours. And we get calls and texts from people just like you looking to make a move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you are moving in 7 days, 70 days, or even 7 months, go ahead and give us a call, send us a text, send us an email, or book a Zoom. We would love to chat with you on how we can help you make a smooth move to the Fort Worth area. And if you haven't done already, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. The link is in the description below. Click the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know of the changes here in this market, in the current market. Okay, so pro number one is it's brand new. Everything is new about this new construction home, and some people absolutely love that fact that no one has ever lived there before. Everything is shiny and new and beautiful, fresh new paint, fresh new carpet. Everything is absolutely brand new. So that's the simple one, pro number one. Pro number two is because it is a brand new home, you're going to have a warranty with a builder. And typically it's a 1, 2, 10 warranty. 1 year kind of bumper to bumper. 2 year is mechanical, electrical. 10 year is the foundation. So typically a 1, 2, 10. Some builders have a 2, 2, 10. So you definitely want to ask about that. That's pro number two. Pro number three is a lot of times, if you are moving into a brand new community, maybe you're one of the first houses that is built, you are going to start building equity right away, because as they continue to build in that community, the prices are going to continue to go up and up and up on those new builds. So if you came in the beginning and let's say they're still building for another year, 2 years, 3, 5, 10, you're going to have a lot of equity pretty fast in that brand new home. So that's pro number three. Pro number four, if you are coming in and choosing your own lot, you get to choose, sometimes you get to choose your lot characteristics. Are you in an interior lot? Are you on a cul-de-sac? Are you backing up to a green space? If you're choosing your own lot, you do possibly have those choices. Now, there could be premiums on those. If you're on a cul-de-sac, if you were on a green space, they'll probably charge you more for those lots, but just keep in mind, you might have those choices. Pro number five is builder incentives. Ever since I've been doing real estate, I believe every builder has had some form of incentives for purchasing with them. It could be just a few $1,000s towards closing costs if you use their title company. It could be more if you use their lender. So you always want to ask. They might even have money towards design upgrades. That's something I'm seeing a lot, you know, 10,000, 20,000 towards design upgrades. You go to the design center and you can choose some higher level design options. So always ask about the incentives. Included in that could be lender incentives with buy downs on the rate. You could have a 3-2-1 buy down, a 2-1 buy down, meaning if the current interest rate is say 7% and it's a 3-2-1 buy down, the first year it goes down to 4%, then the second year it goes up to 5%, third year it goes up to 6%, and so on. So you save on the interest rate for the first 3 years, depending on the buy down. It's a temporary rate buy down. So those are happening as well, a lot of times with the builder incentives. And finally, pro number six is possibly design choices, depending on the type of builder that you are working with. If it's a mass production builder, you may not have any of these kind of choices. It may just be whatever it is what you have to choose from. If you have a kind of a mid-level or higher level builder, they may have design choices. You get a couple of visits to the design center, and in the base price, you may be able to pick out certain things. And sometimes it goes even beyond that. If you want to pay a little extra, then you can go into the design center and upgrade your brick. You can upgrade your carpet, your tile, your fixtures. And again, could be included in some of the incentives, so you want to ask about that. But if you do get to choose, a lot of times if you're choosing your lot and you're building from the ground up, you are going to get design choices in those mid-level and higher level communities. So you definitely want to ask about that, pro number 6. Now let's get into the cons. Con number 1, builder contracts. You always want to read those contracts thoroughly. They are different than the contracts that we use in the real estate industry. They're not part of our Texas Real Estate Commission contracts, promulgated contracts. So they're builder contracts. And yes, guess what? Most of the time they favor the builder. So you want to check on that. A couple of things to look at for sure. One is escalation clauses. Okay, what that means is, let's say builder cost increase. In those contracts, they may have a paragraph that says, if the increase in cost goes up more than 25%, they can charge you more money than what you actually contracted for in the beginning. You want to read that thoroughly, and if you have more questions on the legality of those terms, you want to talk to an attorney. I am not one, but you want to talk to an attorney if you need further information on that contract. It's well worth the time and money if you're not sure. So escalation clauses, look for those in a builder contract. Also, time to completion. If the builder doesn't meet the timeline, typically there's no penalty to the builder for doing that. If you don't meet the timeline, as in maybe your lender doesn't get things together, or maybe you have a home that you're selling and you've got to get that sold before you can buy this one and you need more time, sometimes the builder has a penalty per day, a charge per day for you not closing on the date that they specify. So you want to read that carefully, get legal advice if you need it. Those are a couple of the gotchas on the builder contract. You always want to check that out for sure. Number 2 con, in a new build community, they may have completely scraped the landscape and moved a lot of dirt, and there may not be a lot of mature trees. So if you're looking for that here in Texas, sometimes they just completely do that. They just scrape the land and they don't leave a whole lot left. Then they'll come and plant, they'll have, like if it's an HOA, a master plan community, they'll have possibly the standard 1 or 2 small trees and landscape in the shrubbery in the flower garden. They'll have that in the home standard with your package. So just watch for that. If you're looking for areas with mature trees, that may be more of a custom build situation to get that kind of a lot or that kind of tract of land that still has the trees that you can work around. So con number 3 are extra fees and taxes you may encounter in a new build community. 2 acronyms that you need to know, which are PID and MUD. So PID is Planned Improvement District. MUD is Municipal Utility District. So let me explain the differences in those two. So the PID is going to be for amenities, sidewalks, fitness center, pools, things like that in your community. And you can typically, you have some options of paying all of that up front when you purchase the home, or paying monthly on that fee. A MUD, a municipal utility district, is assessed on the taxes. So that is for bringing the electrical in, bringing the water, bringing the sewage, building the roads, things like that are part of the MUD. And that is something that's going to be assessed on your taxes. Sometimes it's 1%. So if you're seeing taxes in that area, maybe they're 2% or 2.5%, you can tack on another 1% to know what your tax bill is going to be. And your lender is going to be very involved in that, because that's going to affect your monthly payment and your debt to income ratio and all those numbers. So you definitely want to know if the community that you're looking at has a PID or a MUD or both. Con number 4 can be build time. It could actually be a pro depending on your situation, but it could be a con. So you want to know how long it's going to take for you to move into that new construction home. Some of them are move-in ready, and so that may not be a con. It may be ready to go in the next month. it could need to be built from the ground up, and that could take 8, 12, 16, 18 months, depending on the type of home you're buying. And so you want to be aware of your build time and how that falls in line with if you've got a home to sell where you are now, how much time you need for that. Are you going to need to sell that home and then move into temporary housing while your new build is being completed? Those are things to think about when you're looking at a new construction home. And con number 5 is the builder lender. So I talked about the builder incentives earlier, and sometimes they include incentives from the builder lender, but you want to make sure if the builder lender, let's say they're offering you $5,000 off of your closing costs if you go with the builder lender, you want to make sure and compare all the fees that that builder lender is charging you with an independent lender. Sometimes those fees are inflated, or they might have extra fees that an independent lender might not have. You want to check that and see if an independent lender can actually match or beat what you're getting from the builder lender. Another thing about builder lenders, in my experience, they may not all be this way, is if they're working directly with the builder, maybe they're part of the builder's company, let's say it's a big mass builder. Sometimes those lenders are not as customer service oriented and responsive as an independent lender, because they just don't have to be, because they get business handed to them and they don't ever have to go out and get it. So that's a couple of things to think about with a builder lender. So I told you, if you stick around till the end, I'm going to give you some of my best secrets on working with new construction. So you do have the option of going to certain sites that are kind of like a Zillow or one of those sites for new construction. One's called New Home Source. A lot of the big builders are on New Home Source, and they do show a lot of options, a lot of floor plans, a lot of their models. However, one thing you don't always see on the sites is exactly what's happening on the ground in those communities. That takes someone who's well connected in that area to actually find out for you. And that's what I do. I think that's one of my specialties, is finding out what those builders actually have on the ground, what they have coming up, what their current incentives are. And I do that by either directly going out and visiting the community or calling them on the phone. And I get all that information. I gather it from my clients, and then we can go out together and visit that new build community. So a lot of times I'll go out ahead of them and vet it out and see if it is really what they're looking for. I've even done FaceTime videos with clients that were out of town, walking around the model, walking around a lot, and showing them what it really looks like. So I think that's one of my specialties for sure, is connecting with the builders in the area, knowing what new developments are happening way before they happen, and finding out what inventory they have, what incentives they have, what type of lots they're bringing on the market, and how soon, what amenities they're going to have in that community. And you can't always find everything up to date online by looking at the website. So I hope you enjoyed this video about new construction, the pros and the cons, the good and the bad, the pitfalls and the gotchas that could happen in new construction. And if you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications so that you can be notified the next time we bring a new video up, and you can be notified of the current market conditions here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So as always, if you would like to get in touch, go ahead and call me, text me, email me, or book a Zoom. I would love to hop on there with you, find out exactly what you're looking for, chat, get to know you better, and see how I can help you make a smooth move to the Fort Worth area. So until next time, and when you come in town, I hope to show you around town. This is Elizabeth Oliva with the Fort Worth Home Tours.